Hello, my name is Erica Schrader, and I will be presenting my small group Potentiality case study on launching a performing arts kids ministry. The charge to the team that begins this ministry would be to teach, train, and equip children in the performing arts in order that they would use their gifts and skills to the glory of God and the service of His bride, the church. There are two foundational verses that would be critical for this ministry. The first is 1 Corinthians 10:21. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. This verse would help the leaders teach children that whatever talents it is that God has given them, or whatever they find themselves doing, that they can do that for His glory. The second is 1 Corinthians 12:4-7. Now there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit, and there are varieties of service, but the same Lord, and there are varieties of activities, but it is the same God who empowers them all in everyone. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. The focus here would be on verse 7. Children would be taught that they are given a special gift from the Holy Spirit with which they can use for the common good of Christ's bride, the church. It would be important with the launch of this ministry to begin with a team. Rothwell describes a team as a small number of people with complementary skills who act as an interdependent unit, are equally committed to a common mission, subscribe to a cooperative approach to accomplish that mission, and hold themselves accountable for team performance. The team makeup would look as follows. A kids ministry pastor or director would act as a spiritual leadership of the group. A producer would act as a liaison between the church and the team that assists the team in gathering the supplies, materials, and finances they need to accomplish this ministry. The producer is written in parentheses because it could be possible that the kids ministry pastor is the same as the producer. The director would need to be someone who's an expert in the intricacies of theater, especially acting. A choreographer would need to be brought on board as well as a vocal coach. It's important to note that the vocal coach would not only need to be an expert in singing themselves, but they should have the unique ability to both individually train young singers and also be able to corporately conduct large choruses. Last, a tech director would be important in the makeup of this team. This person would need to be an expert in all areas of tech, including lighting, stage design, and sound. Due to the fact that each member of this group will be so specialized in their area of the performing arts, and therefore will act as an authority on each individual subject, it should be a natural byproduct that the collective effort model would be seen in this kind of group makeup. Rothwell states that the collective effort model suggests that group members are strongly motivated to perform well in a group if they are convinced that their individual effort will likely help in attaining valued results. It's also important to note here Carol Gilligan's different voice theory. Her theory explains the difference in the way that men work through dilemmas versus the way that women work through dilemmas. She explains that the different voice theory contrasts a feminine ethic of care with a masculine ethic of justice. So, having both men and women on this team would be beneficial because it would offer a different approach to working through dilemmas and problems, which in turn would offer a more multifaceted and thorough decision-making process in the face of issues. Again, Rothwell also notes that diversity in groups is important because it can provide a wider array of problem-solving and decision-making resources. This group would need to be led by servant leadership. This would be important because that is the model that Jesus offered us. As stated in Mark 10:4, for even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. Rothwell describes servant leadership as a perspective on leadership that places the emphasis on the needs of followers and helps them to become more knowledgeable, freer, more autonomous, and more like servants to the group. This would be important because each member of this group would need to work well and serve one another and serve the children that the ministry would ultimately be for. Lastly, the cost-benefit exchange theory is important for this group because if the team were to determine that a monetary cost must be associated with joining this ministry, then the team must clearly promote, market, and communicate the benefits that children will receive from being involved in this ministry. In review, it would be important to build a team with the goal of launching a performing arts ministry for kids. The team would need to be given a clear charge so that the end goal is clearly stated and attainable. This ministry would be based on biblical principles, and this team would need to be built of servant leaders who are able to both serve and lead well. Thank you.